The election denial book 2000 Mules has continued to feed the imaginations of right-wingers across the country, the very active imaginations, apparently, with its insane conspiracy theories about operatives, Democratic operatives known as mules, that were allegedly stuffing ballot boxes for Joe Biden in 2020. Right. Again, absolutely no evidence that this had happened. Nonetheless, that didn't stop author and filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza from deciding to publish this garbage anyway. You know, because of course. Now, that said, he published it, and then, oh no, oh wait, oh, I gotta bring it back. Alterations. We need to make some alterations. Okay.
Oh no!
Bring it back. Most notably, one of the alterations is a passage in the recalled version of the book that accused specific named nonprofit organizations of involvement in illegal ballot trafficking. So now that has been rewritten, softening certain claims and outright removing the names of the groups. Gee, I wonder why. Well, we'll get to that. Now, one such group, by the way, is the New Georgia Project. Okay, they focus on registering and mobilizing young voters and voters of color. So I can understand why that would be a target of Republicans because, well, they did the same thing to Acorn. I mean, not quite the same thing, but they accused them of outrageous, ridiculous things and got them to fund it. And by the way, that was during the Obama administration. Obama helped to fund them. Oh my God, I can't believe Republicans would say terrible things about this group. I guess we should defund the group because we don't want to offend Republicans. I know it still blows my mind that would ever happen. But it's happened way too much. We put up with too much crazy, and you see where it got us. At some point, you have to put your foot down and say, okay, no more insanity from you people. We're done with it. We're done putting up with your garbage, with your bullshit. So that said, the other groups, there was 5 total that were named in this book. 4 of them are unnamed. Separately, sections of the book also had purported to link election fraud to, wait for it, Antifa and BLM. Now, those sections have interestingly been deleted as well. Now, of course, it's because there was no evidence of their involvement. None at all. They just make things up and put them in the book. Now, law enforcement officials, fact checkers, have thoroughly discredited the film's allegations, and the filmmakers have declined to make key evidence for their central claims to be public. You see, that's how also you know it's a lie. When they say, oh, no, we've got all this evidence, tons and tons of evidence. We have all the evidence. We just can't let you see it right now, though. Just trust us, bro. Just trust us. We know what we have, but you don't know what we have. It's amazing. So now, look, the reason that this book, first it was a movie, then there's the book. One viewer of the film was like, hey, Dinesh, sure, you've got all these things. You're saying all these fantastical things, right? Okay, let's see some evidence. All right, good. I'm glad that you're asking for evidence. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. After all, you know, if you live in the real world and somebody tells you these insane things, you might want to have them show you some proof first before you believe it. Unfortunately, it seems to not be how the world works these days. D'Souza's response back in July, when this was asked, is the follow-up book based on 2000 Mules would name names. He said in a tweet, I'm going to reveal the names of several of these nonprofit stash houses. By the way, stash houses makes me think of drugs. Just saying. In my book, 2000 Mules, which, of course, he wants to sell this book. So, oh, yeah, no, the evidence isn't there. So you need to buy it first. See, we see what your game is, Dinesh. Criminal. No, literal convicted criminal. We're doing fraud. He's a fraudster and a thief. He just lies about every single thing in his movie and his book. Yes, he's a con artist. Now, the initial version of the book that was set to be published in August. Well, okay, it published in August, but as soon as it came out, backpedal, 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 retract, bring it back.
Oh no,
bring it back. Oh my God, there are things in there that we should not have in there. Now, again, D'Souza did accuse these 5 nonprofit groups acting as stash houses with no evidence. And then the publisher, Regnery, had issued this recall. D'Souza and the publisher then blamed an unspecified publishing error and declined to answer further questions about why they had pulled the book. Now, that is significant, by the way, enough to cause Salem Media, Regnery's parent company, to lower its corporate earnings estimate. Oh, did your lies hurt the corporate bottom line? Let me just get out the tiniest little violin for you. Again, publishing basically what is, fiction. That's what this movie is. It's fiction. Now, NPR had contacted the 5 groups D'Souza had accused of involvement in election fraud because they got an unaltered copy of the book. So they, did a recall. They got, I'm assuming, all 12 copies that sold. They got the books back, but NPR just happened to get their hands on one of them. And so they were able to read it in its unaltered state, and they had the details on these groups in these allegations. Now, 2 of them went on the record to condemn the allegations as, quote, trash, lies, and malarkey. That is some malarkey. Let me tell you what. And by the way, yeah, it is malarkey.
Oh yeah.
And one of the groups also described the allegation as, quote, potentially libelous. The New Georgia Project spokesperson sent a message to NPR, and I love this, quote, we're always happy when someone who has been discredited takes our name out their mouths. Ooh. I love it. I love it. How'd you like that? How do you like that, boy? So, now, that said, True the Vote. True the Vote. That is the election denial organization that's going out there and they're menacing drop boxes, essentially. Even they have distanced themselves from the book. Quote, this is a statement that to NPR back in September. True the Vote had no participation in this book and has no knowledge of its contents. This includes any allegations of activities of any specific organizations made in the book. We made no such allegations. That's great. Now, D'Souza and Regnery have officially released the 2000 Mules book and have changed these specific sections. D'Souza had previously described left-wing nonprofits as doing vote trafficking. Not true. The newly released book tones that phrase and says, the potentially storing ballots. Again, not true. The names of specific nonprofits that D'Souza accused the election fraud have all been removed. And in lieu of listing specific groups, D'Souza writes, True the Vote shared their names with me and has offered to make them available as needed to the appropriate law enforcement authorities.
Bullshit.
Not really. And in September, when NPR had obtained the copy of the recalled book, Regnery said that they would be happy to talk to you about more about 2000 Mules once it's published. But when asked about arranging an interview this week, Regnery President Thomas Spence declined. No. Interview? What are you talking about? Interview? No, I don't want to do an interview. Ooh, no, garbage. At this point, Regnery is not offering any comment on the book 2000 Mules, Spence wrote in an email. You know why? It's because they're embarrassed. That's it. They're embarrassed. No evidence, 60 court cases, Trump-appointed judges ruling against claims of voter fraud, Republican officials calling these claims preposterous. And you know why they call it preposterous? Because it is preposterous. For example, the film in the recalled version of the book said that True the Vote used a database from something called the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, or ACLED, to make the connection between Mules, Black Lives Matter, and Antifa. ACLED objected to that characterization and requested a correction from D'Souza, saying, "This is not the type of analysis that you can use ACLED data for, and is highly unlikely that these conclusions have any basis in fact." Spokesperson said every reference to ACLED in the recalled version of the book was, quote, incorrect or misleading. Gee, really? Surprise? No, actually, no surprise. Of course we know it's incorrect and or misleading. Now, ACLED does not appear anywhere in the book, and several paragraphs that attempted to rebut NPR's earlier fact check about that data have also been removed, as well as the claims that the Mules had connections to Antifa and BLM. Because again, no evidence! So, let me give you a statement here. This is from Sam Jones, ACLED's head of communications, saying ACLED requested a correction from the publisher based on the incorrect references included in the recalled version of 2000 Mules, and we are happy to see that these references have ultimately been removed from the final copy of the book. Our data do not support any of the claims or conclusions that were previously linked to ACLED. And there it is. Now, is this going to matter to Bag of Chuds? Probably not. But let me get to the real reason here behind the changes. It's not because it's all made up and they know it, and they want to be honest with people. And they knew they made some lies, few omissions, right, of fact. No, they went too far, and they know it. They named names, which put them in potential legal jeopardy. They were pressured, by the way, to do so, to name these names by the fact that there are still, yes, right-wingers who generally do believe in this conspiracy theory, but wanted to see some evidence to back them up. So, the idiot Dinesh D'Souza sprinkles in some names of organizations and groups that he doesn't like a group that helps get black and brown people to vote. Oh, no, they can't have that. They obviously must be part of the Mules. And, of course, BLM and Antifa. But in doing so, to try to get this confirmation bias, well, they wanted to, or I should say they went too far. They ran into a problem when you start naming names. If you were lying about an organization, a group, or individual, you open yourself up to libel, slander, or defamation. Now, these things have a high bar to prove in a court of law. Understand. But if D'Souza is this rattled about the possibility of legal action to support a recall, well, that means, obviously he knows that he went too far. Now, one more thing about this. You might be wondering, okay, but you think he went too far with these allegations, right? With naming these groups. Well, why didn't he realize that before? What was he, why wasn't he worried before? What changed? Well, for example, you had Alex Jones getting hit with defamation lawsuits. You had Newsmax, Rudy Giuliani, Fox News. These groups started taking legal action against election deniers. These companies like Smartmatic and Dominion. Like I said before, once you start naming names in your nonsense conspiracy theories and wrapping up companies, which, by the way, you mess with a corporation and their future profit margins, well, then you're going to be in trouble. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Which is why, again, if you're going to go for a conspiracy theory, you got to keep it vague. Right? Oh, it's the shadowy they. They're coming after your rights. What they're going to do is they're killing babies. They're chopping them up, and then they're giving it to people to drink or adrenochrome. That's what's going on. Who are they? It's they. They're all around us. They're even in the room right now. They're watching. I got to be careful with what I say, but you know what? I'm a true patriot, so I'm going to say it anyway. Yeah, you come get me. Yeah, come get it. No, it's ridiculous. But if you want to, again, avoid this trouble, then you got to keep it vague. Or go after a very well-known public figure. For example, you go after the Joe Bidens. You go after the Hillary Clintons, right? And because, again, when you have that public figure, well, that's a little bit different. And you are able to come up with weirdo conspiracy theories, and everybody thinks it's normal. That said, at this point, I think Dinesh D'Souza knows that he had fucked around and has opened himself up to finding out.